You'll be the first to raise your hand.
Are we all ready?
What problem should I discuss?
What problem shall I discuss?
With you first.
With you first.
I bow to you, all-powerful, almighty Caesar. Metellus Cimber sits before you with a humble heart.
I have to stop you, Cimber. These kneelings and humble courtesies might excite ordinary men, flattering them into Roman law and to children's games. But don't be so foolish as to think you can sway me from what's right by using the tactics that persuade fools. I mean this flattery, low blows, and puppy-like fawning. Your brother has been banished by decree. If you kneel and beg and flatter for him, I'll kick you out of my way like I would a dog. Know that I am not unjust, and I will not grant him a pardon without reason.
Is there no voice worth more than an appeal to Caesar to repeal his brother being banished?
I kiss your hand, Caesar, but not in flattery. I ask you to repeal his banishment.
What even you, Brutus?
Pardon him, Caesar, pardon him. I fall to your feet to beg you to restore Publius to citizenship.
I could be convinced if I were like you. If I could beg others to change their minds, begging would convince me too. But I'm as immovable as the northern star, whose stable and stationary quality has no equal in the sky. The sky shows countless stars. They're all made of fire, and each one shines. But only one among of them remains in a fixed position. So it is on earth that world is full of men, and men are flesh and blood, and they are capable of reason. Yet out of all of them, I know only one who is uneasable, who never moves from his position. To show that's me, let me prove it a little even in this case. I was firm in ordering that Cimber be banished, and I remain firm in that decision.
Oh, Caesar.
Enough. Would you try to lift Mount Olympus?
Great Caesar.
Haven't I resisted even Brutus?
Haven't I resisted even Brutus?
Begging from his knees?
Begging on your knees.
Hands speak for me.
Ah! And another. Ah! Even you too, Brutus? In that case, Caesar dies.
Liberty, freedom, tyranny is dead. Run and proclaim it in the streets. Some people should go to the public platforms and shout, democracy, freedom, and liberty.
People and senators, don't be afraid. Don't run away. Stay where you are. Only Caesar had to die for his ambition. We will be satisfied. Let us be satisfied.
Then follow me and listen to my speech, friends. Cassius, go to the next street and divide the crowd. Let those who will hear me speak stay. Lead those away who will follow you, and we'll explain publicly the reasons for Caesar's death.
I will hear Brutus.
I will hear Cassius and compose these reasons when severely we hear them rendered.
The noble Brutus is descended. Silence!
Be patient until I finish, Romans, countrymen, and friends. Listen to my reasons, and be silent so you can hear. Believe me on my honor, and keep my honor in mind, so you may believe me. Be wise when you criticize me, and keep your minds alert so you can judge me fairly. If there's anyone in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar's, I say to him that my love of Caesar was no less than his. If then that friend demands to know why I rose up against Caesar, this is my answer. It's not that I love Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. Would you rather that Caesar were living and we would all go to our graves as slaves? Or that Caesar were dead and we all lived as free men? I weep for Caesar in that he is good to me. I rejoice in his good fortune. I honor him for being brave, but his ambition, for that I killed him. There are tears for his love, for joy for his fortune, honor for his bravery, and death for his ambition. Who here is so low that he wants to be a slave? If there are any, speak, for it is whom I have offended. Who here is so barbarous that he doesn't want to be a Roman? If there are any, speak, for it is whom I've offended. Who here is so vile that he does not love his country? If there are any, speak, it is he whom I have offended. I will pause for reply.
None, Brutus, none!
Then I've offended no one. I've done no more to Caesar than you will do to me. The reasons for his death are not recorded in the Capitol. His glory has not been diminished where he earned it, nor have those offenses for which he was killed been exaggerated. Here comes his body, mourned by Mark Antony, who, though he had no part in killing, will benefit from his death, receiving a share in the commonwealth, as you all will. With these words I leave. Just as I killed my best friend for the good of Rome, so I will kill myself when my country requires my death.
Live, Brutus, live, live! Bring him with triumph, name unto his house. Give him a statue with his ancestors. Let him be Caesar.
Countrymen, let me leave alone. I want you to stay here with Antony and pay respects to Caesar's corpse and listen to Antony's speech about Caesar's glories, which he gives with our permission. I ask that none of you leave except myself until Antony has finished.
Stay ho, and let us hear Mark Antony.
For Brutus' sake, I will behold to you.
We are blessed that Rome is rid of Caesar.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, give me your attention. I have come here to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do is remembered after their deaths, but the good is often buried with them. It might as well be the same with Caesar. The noble Brutus told you that Caesar was ambitious. If that's true, it's a serious fault, and Caesar has paid seriously for it. With the permission of Brutus and others, for Brutus is an honorable man. They are all honorable men. I have come here to speak at Caesar's funeral. He was my friend. He was faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. He brought many captives home to Rome. Is this the work of an ambitious man? When, the poor cried, Caesar cried too. Ambition shouldn't be so soft. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. You all saw that on the Lupercal feast day, I offered him a king's crown 3 times, and he refused it 3 times. Was this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious. And no question, Brutus is an honorable man. I'm not here to disprove what Brutus has said, but to say what I know. You all loved him once, and not without reason. Then what reason holds you back from mourning him now? Men have become brutish beasts and lost their reason. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin there with Caesar. I must pause until it returns to me.
There is much reason in his saying. Now mark him. He begins again to speak.
Only yesterday, the word of Caesar might have stood against the world. Now he lies there worth nothing, and no one is so humble as to show him respect. Oh, sirs, if I stirred your hearts and minds to mutiny and rage, I would offend Brutus and Cassius, who, you all know, are honorable men. I will not do them wrong. I would rather wrong the dead and wrong myself and you than wrong such an honorable man. But here's a paper with Caesar's seal on it. I found it in his room. It's his will. You can only hear his testament, which, excuse me, I don't intend to read aloud. You would kiss dead Caesar's wounds and dip your handkerchiefs in his sacred blood, and beg for a lock of hair to remember him by. And when you died, you would mention the handkerchief or the hair in your will, bequeathing it to your heirs like a rich legacy.
The will, we will hear Caesar's will.
Be patient, gentle friends. I must not read it. It isn't proper for you to know how much Caesar loved you. You aren't wood, you aren't stones, you're men. And being men, the contents of Caesar's will would enrage you. It's better that you do not know your her, his, hers. For if you know, just imagine what would come of it.
Read the will. We'll hear it, Antony. You shall read us the will.
Will you be patient? Will you wait a while? I've said too much in telling you of it. I'm afraid what I wrong the honorable men whose daggers have stabbed Caesar.
Room for Antony. Most noble Antony.
If you have tears, prepare to shed them now. You all know his cloak. I remember the first time Caesar ever put it on. It was a summer's evening. He was in his tent. It was the day he overcame the Nevi warriors. Look, here's where Cassius's dagger pierced it. See the wound that Casca made. Through this hole beloved Brutus stabbed. And when he pulled out his cursed dagger, see how Caesar's blood came with it, as if it rushing out a door to see if it was really Brutus who was knocking so rudely. For Brutus, as you know, was Caesar's angel. The gods know how dearly Caesar loved him. This was the most unkind cut of all, for when the noble Caesar saw him stabbed, he understood his beloved Brutus's ingratitude. It was stronger than the violence of traitors, and it defeated him. Bursting his mighty heart, and at the base of Pompey's statue, his cloak covering his face, which was dripping with blood. The whole time great Caesar fell. Oh, what a fall it was, my countrymen. Then you and I, all of us, fell down, while bloody treason triumphed. Oh, now you weep, and I sense that you feel pity. These are gracious tears, but if it overwhelms you to look at Caesar's wounded cloak, how will you feel? Kind men now, look at this. Here is the man, scarred as you can see, by traitors.
Charlie.
Woeful day. Caesar, you'll be the first to raise your hand. Stop it. I said Caesar. Too many C's.
These kneelings and courtesy. I can't do it.
You have to stay over there. Stay over there and keep listening. Stay ho and let us hear market. Stay ho and let us hear market. Where's Metellus Cinder?
They're speaking to him.
It's Cimber. It's not Cinder?
No,
It's not like cinder blocks.
Are you serious?
This is why it's Cinder.
Okay, we gotta restart that.
C-I-M-C-E-R.
Here, pause it. You won't know the difference.